Hello everyone, hi, welcome to the channel of Wall Street Mojo. Watch the video till the end, and if you're new to this channel, then you can subscribe us by clicking the bell icon. Today we have a topic with us is foreign direct investment, the FDI, one of a very discussed topic nowadays because of the reason being the economy as a whole has an immense level of impact due to FDI. Over here it's written that India attracted $22 billion of FDI flow in the first half of 2018, and according to the UN report, which states that the global foreign direct investment dropped by 41% in the same period due to the tax reforms that were carried out by the Trump administration. Okay, as I told you, it has an immense level of impact on the economy as a whole. So what is FDI, the foreign direct investment? See, foreign direct investments can be defined as investment that is done by either individual, maybe the organization of one country, into another organization or company of another country. So this happens when the organization wants to expand into another country or want to have a lasting interest. In the company of another companies. The organization, it's called the OECD, that's called the Organization for Economic Corporations and Development, mentions that if any foreign investor has, let's say, 10% or ownership of the voting power in the organization of another country, we will call it as the lasting interest. Having lasting interest helps foreign individuals or the organizations to have a meaningful influence on the management of the company. So in this tutorial, we'll go in depth about how the FDI works and in how many ways the companies can use the FDI to its advantage. Let's discuss the methodologies for FDI. See, there are many ways through which the FDI is done. We'll talk about the most prominent methods and types of the foreign direct investments. See, the methods of FDI can be divided into two broad categories. The first one is called the Greenfield Investments, and the second one is called the Brownfield Investments. See, when a company of a different country invests in a business of another country or wants to expand their horizons into another country, two things become very important. One is how they should build up their business or influence to generate enough revenue in the foreign country, and another is what should be the most profitable methodology of FDI. So to understand this, let's have a look at the two methods, the Greenfield and the Brownfield. So between 2005 and 2016, India remained the top recipient of the Greenfield FDI from the Commonwealth, more than doubling the amount it received over the 10 years. See, India is a leading country for attracting the green FDI, and not only from the Commonwealth, but also from the world. In 2015, it overtook China for the very first time as the biggest destination for the Greenfield FDI. So you can imagine how far important it is. See, many companies of the foreign country believe that they should start everything from scratch. So if they become interested in FDI, they would build up their own factory in a different country. So they would train people to work in their factory organization, and they would try to provide offering as per the culture of the country. So we can take the example over here. We can take the example of McDonald's over here, and we have Starbucks. They both started everything from scratch, and they are now the prominent brands in India. They are called as the Greenfield Investments. Now let's talk about Brownfield Investments. Okay, see, the attraction of around closely to $11.8 billion in the FDI investment during the last 12 months to 21st of December. Of this, the sum of 11.33 billion, it pertains to Greenfield, and 496 million to Brownfield. So this is the bifurcation. 11.8 of the 11.8, when you deduct 11.33, you get 47. So that's 496 million, and that was been pushed down to the Brownfield. And this was according to the report recently published in the government official website. So this is a very shortcut method of previous method. In this method of FDI, the foreign business don't take the pain of building up something from the very scratch in another country. They expand the business by either going for what we call as the cross-border merger and acquisition. Doing this allows them to start their heads up right away without building anything from zero. The example of this is the Tata Motors acquisition. Okay, and the Tata Motors didn't need to build a new factory in the UK, but started running the business from the existing factory of Jaguar, right? So there's another one that in India there was a merger, the cross-border merger between iGate and Patni. Patni was an Indian company, a very big, giant Indian IT industry, IT company. And iGate is a very small company from US. iGate acquired a Patni. It was a reverse and cross-border merger. Let's understand the type of the foreign direct investments. I want to make you reach out to that knowledge also. See, there are two type of foreign direct investment. One is called the horizontal investment, horizontal FDI, and another is called the vertical FDI. Okay, now let's discuss the horizontal FDI. So this is the most common type of the foreign direct investment. In this case, a company merges with another company of another country to get stronger in the market, and products or service offered are of the homogeneous nature. It's done first to have a piece of market share in the foreign market, and next is to reduce the competition. Now, there's another called vertical FDI. When a company of one country acquires or merges with another company of different country, again I will repeat, when a company of one country acquires or merges with another company of different country just to add more value to their value chain, it would be called as vertical FDI. For example, if a company invests into foreign company just to have supplier producing raw material for them, it would be a vertical FDI. So in this two type of foreign direct investment, one thing is common. This FDI should be brownfield investment, a brownfield investment, because for greenfield investment, everything is built from what we call as scratch. So foreign direct investments can also be divided into another two types. That is what we call as the inward FDI, and there is outward FDI, right? So inward FDI is invested in the local resources, and the outward foreign direct investment is defined as the investment made abroad that are thoroughly backed the government. So what are the factors that ensures the FDI? So there are series of factors that affects. One is the open economy. Okay, see, the open economy, when we talk about the first prerequisite of whether foreign investor will be interested in to invest in the business of another company is the type of the economy the country runs. So if it is a closed economy, it would be very difficult for the foreign investor to invest in another business in that country. So FDI are made when the country has the open economy and the country has openness towards what we call as growth. Second, they have above average growth scenario. That is very important. When you have this, things are very smooth. The foreign investor won't be interested in mature or saturated market. If a country is developing or developed but has a room for above average growth, the foreign direct investment would be made. Precisely, the business and the individuals that would like to make FDI need to see whether they have any growth prospects in near future in a different country or not. If there is no growth prospect, why would anyone be interested? Right. Third is the most important thing, the skilled workforce. Now, if we take the example of McDonald's, we would be able to say that they expand to the developing country like India, they need a skilled workforce. The skilled workforce would be teachable. They should be having a basic skills of communications, technical expertise, ability to learn. And without a skilled workforce, FDI won't be able to create any value. Fourth, the last is the government support. Without a government support, you cannot do anything over here. Okay. So let me make my final conclusion. Even if on the surface it seems FDI is quite good for developing countries, we should also pay heed to its disadvantage for the FDI. One of the biggest disadvantage of FDI is to let the foreign investor take the ownership of the industry of a country that's strategically important to that particular country. So the government should always ensure that the foreign investor should not get more than 10% of the ownership in those industry that the country is quite good at. So it's true that it ensures the business are well run, the global economy gets improved, and the investors also receives good returns on the investment. However, every country should think strategically about FDI before accepting. So that's it for this particular topic. If you have learned and liked the video, if you think that if you have enjoyed and learned watching this video, please like, comment on this video and subscribe to our channel for all the latest updates. Thank you everyone. Cheers.